Let's go. We're back. La Verdad Sin Filtro podcast 2023. Guys, Happy New Year's. If you guys out there and you haven't seen our latest, we already put up a few episodes. And I'm here always with Ronald Urquiza.
What's going on, everyone?
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Ronald?
I'm here with Anthony
Hey, what's up, guys?
Arias and Christian Urquiza.
Hey, we got the brothers, the twins.
Yes, the twins.
You got twins, right? Or
We're not twins, man.
do they ever confuse you guys as twins? Or?
All the time. They ask me, who's older? And I'm like, take a guess. And then they guess him sometimes. Sometimes they'll guess me. But when they say him, I honestly take it as a compliment that I just look young.
Hey, nice. Cool. We're this episode is a little bit of more of a going down memory lane.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We're in 2023. Do you guys still remember how La Verdad Sin Filtro podcast started?
Oh, yeah, man. I remember.
Yeah, it was a cold winter night.
It was cold. It was November.
It was cold.
It was November, yeah.
It was November
2019.
It was around that time people were falling. You know that ice you can't see?
Was it? The black ice?
It was a thin ice.
I remember we were doing it in a podcast. I think it was in Brooklyn. Yeah. We were doing it there in the studio. Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, fun experience.
We had Edwin Valera was one of our first guests.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Paltan.
Wow.
One of our first guests.
We had
Powerful.
Jennifer Martinez, JM Ministry.
JM Ministries.
And Namia's Jennifer Rodriguez now. And then who else? We had a few other guests. We had Pastor Jose Juilliard.
Yeah, we had Esther Barranco.
Esther Barranco.
Esther Barranco. Yeah, because by that time, not only were we the podcast coming out, but we had The Chosen.
Mm-hmm.
The Chosen for the very first time. They were also so we're like kind of like twins. The Chosen
Twinsies.
the Chosen USA was
Yep.
coming out. La Verdad Sin Filtro podcast was coming out at the same time, and man, they have had so beautiful success.
Yeah.
With their stuff. I think they're in the fourth season now.
Yeah. They've come a long way.
Yeah.
It's come a long way.
And we've also have.
Yeah.
Now we have two other podcast members, Misael Acosta, pastor out from New Jersey. And then we also had an influencer who's a worshiper too, out of the Bronx, Lisa Marie.
Yeah.
And they've added, something to the podcast. And I cannot forget also, we also have Norberto Castillo, who he's part of the podcast. He does the camera sometimes, but we also try to get him on here so he could start practicing. Let's talk about the podcast from the beginning. Is there any memorable moments?
Well, honestly, at the beginning of the podcast, it was something of a good memory, because let's be realistic, we didn't know what the podcast was or where it was going. So it was kind of like a trial and error, just seeing what we can do, and it was good. I mean, granted, we learned from mistakes and we've grown, but I think the podcasts have come a long way since then. You know what? A lot.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, and I feel like it felt weird at the time because we were, I'm not gonna say the only ones, but from our friend groups that we know, but it don't feel as weird now because there's more people doing it.
There's a lot of podcasts now.
No, but not only that, I think it goes more than that because let's be realistic. When we started it, we were all kind of nervous and shy because we're talking to a camera, we're talking to a microphone, and it's like, Anthony's coming from a preaching background. So he's used to talking to people and not necessarily talking to a camera. Yeah. So,
No, and I felt like I was when we used to go to Televisión Cristiana. And I thought it was that, but it's a different type of approach.
Yeah, it felt like you were talking on the radio.
I feel like podcasts, you should just, talk normal, like how you have a regular conversation.
Yeah, that's good because I think, so I see myself, I love to watch, and Anthony knows, and I think I've told Ronald and Christian, I still, until now, till this day, I go back and look at the old episodes because I want to see what I could improve. And I remember that in the beginning, I think I was starting off like if I was preaching, like I was in the preaching mode.
Yeah.
And not like this calm, like just having a conversation.
Well,
you know.
And I think that's what I was talking about. Like, we was a lot of like learning and trial and errors,
Yes,
and
correct.
it's not. And the reality is, in anything that you do, you're not going to be an expert in the beginning. You know, you just have to throw yourself out there and do it. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna make mistakes, but you're gonna grow.
I'm not gonna say that we were the first Christian podcast.
No, for sure not.
Because there were others.
But I think we were one of the first in our circle of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
yeah.
I pointed out
Yeah.
the circle.
I'm after we did it, there was a few more
Yeah.
that came out. I would have loved for them to keep on doing it. I would, and those that are watching that, I've always, so I love to see other people do their stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember a few of the I'm not gonna mention them because they're no longer around, but I would hit them up.
Yeah.
And I would, and they know, and yeah, I wanna mention it to them because I wanna make sure that they know. But I would always get in contact with their members, and I would say, "Yo, keep on doing what you guys doing."
Yeah.
Like literally, I would use the podcast account to get on
To motivate
their
them.
live, their live video or their live podcast, and I would comment, and I would
Yeah.
support, because I really don't think I don't see ourselves as competing.
Yeah.
I'm glad that that they did it. I hope that they come back.
Yeah. I think honestly, what it comes down to is you have to be doing it for the right reason.
Yeah.
Because I guess some people think of podcasts and they're like, oh, it's my way of becoming rich or my way of,
Getting famous.
becoming famous. And it's like, if anything, I think podcast is kind of like a slow grind, whereas like you really got to do it for the right reasons and just keep at it,
Yeah. So I think that's something different from us, because a lot of people, they ask me and Anthony, they go, "You guys recorded so many episodes. Why don't you guys put more clips of you guys?" I'm like, but this is not for us. Like, if you guys go on our Instagram account, the only clips that we have are from our guests.
Yeah.
You won't see. I think I probably put like a
No,
one
I mean,
or two.
There are a few, but the majority is guest.
Yeah, but
It's guess.
I feel like it wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, it wouldn't be a bad thing. But
not
then
a bad thing
it's
either.
also like what Ronald was saying. We don't want to use this platform to get any benefit out of it. If anything, we want our listeners
Yeah.
to benefit
Well, I
off
have
of
a
it.
question. Maybe why do you want to do a podcast
So
personally, not necessarily?
Wow, changing the seats. I like that. He just flipped it on everybody here.
Just a little background. I'm very creative. I love to do new stuff, especially when it comes to ministry wise. I love to do new stuff. And Anthony and I, we've been best friends for over a decade. And every time I would start something, he was over there to support me. So now all of a sudden, the tables turned, right?
Yeah.
And
Turns table.
and Anthony had a creative idea. And I said, you know what? He supported me. Let me support him.
Yeah.
And then I added some stuff from my creativity onto what, his idea. And I said, you know what? This would be a perfect platform to discuss some. And I think we still have the picture with the quote of what we did the podcast for. Like, I wanted a platform to talk about some situations in church and actually look for solutions,
Yeah.
And I think that's why we did it.
Yeah.
We did it more for to speak about it, because there's topics
Yeah.
that the church won't speak about.
There's a lot of topics that we've covered that are not necessarily, you don't really talk about them. Anthony, why did you start the podcast? Since it was your idea.
Yeah, it's your fault.
At the time, my ministry was dying.
Oh boy.
And I needed a platform. I'm like, no, I actually did it because I used to be I still am, like, I love podcasts, and I really like that format.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, like, it'll be nice to have a Christian one,
But what inspires you to do it? Like, everyone has a job and something pushes them to do it continue doing it. Like, what drives you to do this? Because it's not easy. Yes, we're recording, but then you also got to edit it and it requires work.
I'm kind of like forced in a
No, don't say that.
No, but it's a genuine question, because if there's people out there that maybe they want to do something, but it's like it gets hard, so do they want to quit? Like, what drives you from not quitting?
Wait, not quitting what? Being in the podcast,
or just doing it?
Doing it?
What's your drive?
What's
What's
your drive?
driving you to keep on doing this?
My drive is like the feedback we get from people that
That's good.
that receive good criticism or good not criticism but good advice, and you feel good when you see other people being transformed by like the guests, what they say,
Helping people, basically.
and also that we're in an era right now that social media and the content is showing to more people.
Yeah,
it expands more now.
I tell you what's for me, like the past 3 years, what's been the hardest is trying to get something good out of our guests. So I'm, and I mean, you guys know I love to hear what people say, and even when we are recording the episode, I'm listening because I want to know is like what can I use as a little soundbite, So it's really hard. Like, so I think that's my job. My job is to ask this question or try to give you something, put something on the table so you could cook something up,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I've found that it's so hard to put it in the table and for the guest to come out with something good, because we're having a conversation and we're really not thinking about like the soundbite. I am though, because I want to use the guest to bless,
and not only that,
the audience.
I feel like sometimes it's just not that easy. Like a lot of people, they seeing the cameras and everything. Like,
You know what?
It's easier
That's
for
good.
them. It's easier for them to have a soundbite when we're just chilling.
But that's when you know which one is genuine and which one is not.
No.
And I think
No. Because look, you could tell when somebody practice.
Hey, Anthony, you struggling with that mic.
I feel like no.
You could tell when somebody practiced in front of the mirror for the soundbite,
Well,
than somebody that was genuine.
I feel like it shouldn't be rehearsed.
Correct.
Well,
that's the best way.
And I think honestly, it comes with practice and experience. Because reality is, you're not going to be good at it if you've never been in front of a camera. You're like, this feels weird. I remember when especially in churches started going live. It was like a weird thing. It's like I'm doing a whole church service in front of a camera.
Especially during the pandemic, everybody had to learn and teach themselves.
Not only that, you're doing a service in front of a camera with no audience.
And and especially Pentecostal church, you like the feedback and everything. You're not getting anything because it's a camera,
Yeah, or some people just looking at you like with a straight face, like.
Do you guys remember when we tried to do the?
We did the Zoom.
You remember we tried?
I remember we did it. Yeah,
we tried.
Oh yeah,
Those were good times,
we
man.
were in the city. I remember I was locked in the city.
You guys were both in the city.
Yeah, you guys were in your house.
Lockdown.
What?
We were in lockdown.
Yeah, we were locked down.
We're right. We were locked down. Well, we tried to do it at Goshen.
Yeah, we did. I think we did.
We did one.
We did
We did one
yeah.
in Goshen, and then like right after that was the lockdown.
Yeah.
And that was a very peculiar, very.
Yeah, you know what it is.
It shows like the enemy could try to lock down the physical, but in the web, in the internet.
I think one thing that the podcast has taught me is really more you have to step out of your comfort zone and try new things. And like for me, the podcast is more. When I come to a podcast, I want to say something that's gonna help someone else.
Yeah.
Because I know you think about the sound bites. I'm thinking more about what can I say to actually help someone. Sound bites help. No, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's more of a like, why does someone want to listen to me? What value am I gonna? What value are we giving people?
Or not only that, or you could put yourself in their position. Like if I was them, would I hear myself?
Yeah.
What would I take back from that?
Mm-hmm.
And so we did it. We started in 2020. Actually, we started a few months before.
It was 2019.
Yeah, no. We started recording.
I have the files.
Yeah, we started recording 2019, but we didn't put up the first episode until this January 6th of 2020, which was a few months before the COVID breakout.
Before COVID, we went
And
to
then
Dominican
right after that, we went to
Republic.
Dominican.
No, before that, in December, I think, November, December. No,
No,
January.
January. That
yeah,
same
January.
January.
I was in Cali too.
And then after the
Yeah.
Dominican Republic, you guys went to Cali because I remember that day that we came back from Dominican Republic, we flew. As soon as we landed, we actually came to my house and we dropped off our luggage and we went straight to the Bronx because that day The Chosen was recording their first episode. So so La Verdad Sin Filtro podcast and The Chosen was always there. Shout out to Luis Arvelo and Production and everybody who's
shout out to the Escogidos.
Who?
The Chosen.
He said it in Spanish.
I don't like Los Escogidos. Hey. So we passed through the pandemic, right? And then we started.
It was the epidemic.
The epidemic. Then we started we got the studio.
Yeah.
You remember the last setup? How we had it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think everyone remembers that setup. We just changed.
I still have some pictures or videos of you guys putting some things up and stuff like that. Maybe once we put up this, I'll probably post them. And then there was a time that we didn't hear of Ronald and Christian.
Yep.
It was a silence.
If you want to know what happened, ask Fidel.
No, what happened? Everybody wants to know what happened.
I mean, I think the thing is, what people don't understand is, everyone gets busy in life, work, school. If you have school, I'm not in school anymore, but work, ministry, and podcasting does take time. When we record our, sometimes we record, it's a full day, because so it takes time, and honestly, got busy.
I think that's also one of the hardest things about about recording, is finding a time or day
that everyone's available.
Everybody could be,
Yeah. And I think that's what helps, that now we have more guests, more members. So it's like, if not everyone can make it, it's okay, because, you can still do it, So I think time definitely played a big factor in
huge time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to give, emphasize, on our brother Christian, who's not only here as part of the podcast, one of the original cast members.
OG.
Yeah. but he's also an anointed worshiper. And maybe soon we could have you doing a cover here.
Yeah,
a few covers. But you also opened up a business.
Yes. 2 businesses.
Man, come on, Christian, you gotta
plug
Can we
that
promote some of the business?
Shameless
That's
plug.
kind of the reason why I haven't been around.
Oh, I thought you said that's kind of the reason why I'm here.
To promote it.
I'm not a cloud chaser.
Oh, shots fired!
Shots fired to the CCs, the cloud chasers.
What is your business now?
I have a towing business and I have a dealership.
Nice.
So that's consumed a lot of my time.
Where can we put that up? Can we show us where can we find it? If anybody,
we'll put it in right underneath in the description.
Wait, I had an accident that hit my toe.
Oh my god!
No, so
you want me to pick you up with a chain?
you towing in New York area or New York, New Jersey, Connecticut?
New York area.
The New York area.
NYNJ.
Okay, cool. So if hey, you guys hear it here first.
Yep.
You know,
hit them up.
This is a Christian company. Hey, we're promoting Christian companies.
Yeah. So a Christian company.
Christian company.
So don't try to pay with bateritos.
And also going to Ronald.
Oh boy.
Ronald stepped up on ministry.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
you were always, the helping hand of your parents, you know. And I've always, and I think I've told you this. I'm like, yo, everything that you're going through is preparing you for something, because eventually, I'm gonna say this. There's some pastors' kids that you could tell that, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say it like this. It's gonna come out bad. That they don't have the calling. Like it's
the
not,
ministry was handed
the
to
ministry.
them.
Yeah, correct. That the ministry, but then you see other part that other cases that you say, definitely, he has the calling. He has the, and I see that in Ronald. And I told Ronald, I'm like, Ronald, all of this that you're doing now is just preparing you, because sooner or later you're gonna, you know.
I mean, I think for a long time in my life, I ran from, not necessarily from ministry, but I ran from the certain aspects of it because I love God and I love the church, the local church. I love helping out. I love being involved. But for a long time, I would run from any kind of responsibility in terms of like
what was
being
like
in front.
what was like the major part that stopped you?
Honestly, what scares me, and I say scares me in the sense of, not that I'm like, like I guess what I'm fearful of preaching and bringing the word of God, not because I can't do it, but more because I hold it in terms of a high regard. Someone who brings the word of God, for me at least, has to be someone who is, studying. It's someone who's preparing themselves to give their best. And unfortunately, like, I've seen a lot of bad examples of people who bring the word of God, and I'm not calling out anyone, but it's just like I've seen the bad examples of, you even see famous preachers doing it, and I don't want to do that. So like for me, for a long time I ran from it, and then it came to the point recently where I was just like, oh God, I'm gonna stop running, because I think it was last year, just so many things happened that God was kind of like pushing me in, and it's like it comes to the point where it's like, well, you got to do it or you got to do it. God kind of put me in that position where it was like, well, both my parents had surgery, so I kind of had to step up. I'm like, well, we do prayer every day, morning and evening. I did the prayer for like 2-3 weeks straight, morning, evening. And trust me, that was hard because, you pray every day, but then praying in front of people and leading people in prayer every single day is hard. I had to preach, and then it was just, it pushes you and it pushes you. So
I have to bring a message every night.
Yeah. And not only that, but you're the musician.
Yeah.
You're the sound engineer.
Yeah. So in other words, like, I saw how God was pushing me. So then, like, you don't see me here in the podcast, but it, a lot of things were going on.
And I also want to emphasize too that just so I could open up a little bit to our audience, in 2019 for Anthony and I was a very hard year. Just because if anybody has gone through betrayal, especially ministry wise, you know where I'm coming from. So in 2019, Anthony and I, we went through a little situation like that. And I want to thank Pastor Ronald Urquiza Sr., your mom. We were looking for a house to restore us. And I thank Goshen. Back then it was Luz en las Tinieblas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think 2020 was when you guys changed it to Goshen.
I can't remember the exact year, but it was around that time.
I really want to thank Goshen for helping us through that tough stage of our ministry.
Yeah.
And in those 3 years that we were there, you guys helped us a lot. You have no idea how much you helped Anthony and I. And when we got restored, I felt like I was restored. I said, you know what? Now I think it's time, cause I loved being in Goshen. It was very close to my house.
Yeah.
And seeing what everything that was going on there, and then after 3 years, I had to tell your dad. That was like, I think that was like the hardest thing. It's like, telling your dad, Pastor, I feel now that it's time for me to move on.
Yeah.
I'm fully restored, and I just want to take this chance right now, and and use the platform La Verdad Sin Filtro to thank you guys, because Goshen Ministry has helped us a lot. And if you are ever in the Queens, New York area, or if you know somebody that lives in Queens, New York, what's the address?
8622 85th Street.
And what's the time?
So English services are 10:30, and then Spanish is at 1 p.m. on Sundays.
All right, and guys, you're gonna love it there. You get word from God. The music is awesome. The worship is awesome, and I could tell you guys, from me, like, I choose wisely which church to go to. And choosing Goshen for those 3 years of that stage was one of the best choices that I did. And I want to thank you guys for that. So please tell your parents,
Oh well. Yeah.
tell your parents that they have no idea what they did for us and our ministry. So we're in 2023.
What are your goals for 2023, Fidel?
My goals, later on during the year, you guys are I'm gonna open more up to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like with like Ronald and Christian, you guys had gone through a lot of changes, in your ministry life, personal life. So I'm kind of a very discreet on sharing my personal life.
Yeah.
So like in the social media, like all you see in my social media is what I want you guys to see. Like I don't show you guys
You're
the
not
whole
an
thing.
open person like
Yeah.
that.
I'm very,
It's like they say people just post highlights.
But at the same time, I think that's healthy because you protect those around you that are close to you, and if they're important, people are important enough, they'll know,
So in the next few months, or maybe at the end of middle of this year, I'm gonna probably open up more, and because I mean, I think that we started with the podcast not only on Instagram but on Facebook and YouTube. A lot of people now they're connected to us. So believe it or not, we have you guys, Lisa Marie, Pastor Misael, Norberto, as part of the podcast. But then we have an extended family behind those cameras, and they feel connected to us, and we feel connected. We want them to know that we feel connected to them somehow. And I'm gonna let you guys know, and you guys are my witness. If anybody writes anything on our direct message from Instagram or Facebook, I'm always answering. Like I would not ever leave you guys unseen, because you guys mean a lot to us, and I think that's part of what we're here for.
Yeah.
No, despite the following that you might have, we don't discriminate.
Yeah, no, correct. Yeah,
I feel like everybody's the same.
But you know what? That's also too that I want to use this platform now. Hopefully, God willing, we get 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers. We are still gonna invite people that are in that anonymous status, that have 100 likes. 100 followers. Because I don't want this platform just to be for people that
with a name.
With a name. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want to talk to people, because I think excepción de persona, doing some exceptions here and there. If Jesus doesn't do that, I think we shouldn't either.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand you. I mean, the way I see it is, someone just because they don't have the clout or doesn't mean that they can't be a blessing to someone else.
That's right. And actually, believe it or not, we've had that in our podcast when we went to Expo Elite. We had this one guy who, and I'm not trying to put him down.
Don't say names.
No, I'm not saying names.
Just say initials. Just say initials.
Most of our guests, they had like 100, 200 followers. But bro,
the
like
knowledge they were giving,
they were
It was just them and their family.
It was just them and their family. But their content, was like amazing, and they gave us a lot. We got a lot of feedbacks. We got a lot of feedback. So 2023, we're got a new studio.
Yeah,
we have a few new things that we want to do. We want to bring back the worship sessions. We want to bring back. We want to start doing more reels, more trending reels, and I think I can't wait.
Seems like it's gonna be a good year.
The next few months, and God willing that everything goes good. Us health wise, ministry wise. I just wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
Relationship wise, everything.
Yeah, relationship wise. I hope that
relationship with
this
their families
this year, que Dios mande la idónea.
Wow, I wasn't going there.
Wow.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
because relationship is a general, kind of general.
So, how about you want to do the last words, or you just want to just?
Last words.
Do you want? Oh, me? All right. Honestly, I'm glad to be back.
Let's go.
I'm glad to be back.
He's back, guys. He's back.
Now, I don't know how long. Now I'm kidding.
No.
Oh.
Ouch.
But no. But you see, the reason I started, I first wanted to be in the podcast because I want to help people and I want to, I may not be popular, but at the same time, I feel like God has given me something that I can share with someone and hopefully it blesses someone.
Yeah.
So if my being here can help someone, I'm gonna try my best.
Christian.
I'm gonna say nothing. He said it all.
And I just want to let you guys know, for the people that are watching, the new setup, the new studio was all because of them, Ronald and Christian.
Oh wow.
not actually.
And if you see the black chair,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
we had to
No,
change.
wait. We gotta talk about this.
So we did have a brown chair,
'Cause
and
It
they
didn't
changed.
match.
It was the contrast, right? Am I saying that right? The contrast.
Man, it just didn't match. The colors don't match.
So
Colors
you
do
heard
not
it. You heard it
match
here,
you.
guys. So I guess one of Verdad Sin Filtro podcast. Hasta la próxima.